Hi everyone, it's Michelle Powell with Some Like It Organized, and today we are talking about getting organized when you first start a business. Now I know nothing about any of that, so that's why I brought in my husband, Ryan Powell, who is a business and technology expert, and his company, the iLifestyle, focuses on cloud solutions for retail and service-based businesses. And he has helped me immensely start and run my own business throughout the years. He has so much experience and so much knowledge that I really wanted to bring him in and just share some of the basics that you need to take care of when you have that first initial time starting that business. So what I want to start off with, welcome Ryan, by the way.
Hi.
I want to start off with asking, explain the difference between an LLC, a sole proprietor, a corporation, all that.
Well, first off, just a preface, this is my personal experience in searching through these different legal classifications for a business and helping you and I in creating our businesses, and definitely isn't legal or accounting advice, just my personal experiences. What I found with a sole proprietorship, you're essentially running your business just as you. So Michelle is Michelle doing business. So you're completely open to any of the liability, judgment, lawsuit that could come to you. On the flip side, it also makes things pretty simple for accounting and filing a tax returns.
Legal business.
Generally goes all under the same classification as you, the person. Including, you could, in this case, you could have a business under your own bank account, though I wouldn't ever suggest that even as a sole proprietor. A LLC takes that a step up and creates a separate company, yet you are still attached with some liability, but it does encapsulate you a bit more from lawsuit, and also gives you the option to file your tax returns as a S corp or as a sole proprietor. Again, with the advice of an accountant on which way you should go with that, but that can make it still simple for you to file your tax returns under one account. The third area, an S corporation, is definitely a lot more complicated and requires you to do payroll and really acts as a separate entity from yourself. And I would definitely not suggest that anybody get set up with an S corp without having some sort of an accountant involved and really helping an accountant or a lawyer structure that whole company.
How would someone know whether to be put under one of those three? Like, how do you know when you're a right fit for one of them?
Well, it's tough to say. There's definitely a ease of starting a business as a sole proprietor. I do know, like for instance, here in the state of California, there's an $800 minimum tax that you have to pay as an LLC, whether you make enough money to owe $800 in state taxes or not. So that may be really difficult for a sole proprietor just getting started to make that commitment as an LLC. If that's not a commitment, I really don't see why you would necessarily want to be anything less than an LLC just to have that protection. Making the choice can be very tricky, and again, that's where you should reach out for advice if you're unsure.
Okay. Then within each of the three types of businesses, what are the initial steps to take when you first start a business?
Well, the very first steps you're going to want to do is, if you are going to be a sole proprietor and you're going to be doing anything other than the name of yourself as your business name, you're likely going to need to file for a doing business as with your county.
A DBA.
A DBA.
Okay.
If you're going to become an LLC or an S corp, there's a bunch of paperwork that has to be filed to set up that entity. And I would suggest a company like LegalZoom or these online companies that can really do a low cost, all-in-one solution. I would be cautious not to get really wowed by all the bells and whistles. The basic filing service that they provide is probably good enough. But as a bonus, if you are really lost in this, a company like LegalZoom does also give you the options of filing all the other paperwork that we'll talk about next. Or at least pre-filling them out and giving you instructions on where to send them. So that could actually be a really big benefit to somebody who's kind of lost in their jurisdiction, in their city, on what is required and not required.
Okay, great.
And they are doing an LLC or an S corp.
Is that pretty affordable?
Yeah, I believe they start at about $100 or less, plus the filing fees.
Is that $100 per year or month?
For
LegalZoom?
it's a one-time fee.
One-time flat fee.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a filing fee.
Okay.
And from there, you're likely going to need to file either one or all permits, registrations of some sort. Different jurisdictions call it different things, but you may need to file a business permit or registration with your city. You may need to with your county, and if you're selling physical products, you'll probably, if your state collects tax, you'll need to file for a seller's permit. So those are all extra permits. And in your specific industry, there may be other requirements, which I would just check with your local city on if your particular industry requires a special permit, like a contractor or a gardener. There's other permits that may be needed. But I would just reach out to your city's business or finance department for guidance on that.
Perfect. Are there any other steps then for fulfilling that initial part of the starting the business?
Well, once have all of your permits back and filed, you're definitely also going to want to get a EIN, which is the tax identification number.
Right.
And that's a really easy thing to just do online. And it's free and it's instant. They just can give you a PDF with your tax identification number on it. And that's something that you can do once you have your DBA or your filings in process. You can get that number, or a company like LegalZoom will file it for you.
How would you get it easily online, like you mentioned?
There's a web address. I don't know it off the top of my head.
We can put it in the comments of
Yes.
the box.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any other steps?
Well, you definitely would want to start a business bank account at that point so that you can keep your personal and your business finances separate, no matter what you choose as a filing type. You would want to have that separation. And you can get all the tools to keep yourself organized as a business, all the software, and I would definitely advocate using something cloud-based so that it's accessible anywhere. You're not reliant on your computer crashing and then not being able to get something like your accounting software.
Well, speaking of that, then what would you tell us some of your favorite business tools to support that productivity and staying organized in your business?
At the very least, I think everybody needs to at least have accounting software. I love a software as a service platform, which is cloud-based, called Xero Accounting. QuickBooks has an online version that's great. And then even if you can't afford like a monthly fee for an accounting software, there are services like Wave Accounting out there, which is a free service, and it'll get the job done, especially for somebody just starting out. Depending on your industry, you're going to want customer relationship management, so you can keep track of all of where your business is coming in from.
Is that a CRM?
A CRM.
Okay. Fancy name.
You may need to be tracking projects if you're a designer, or to really keep organized and not use sticky notes everywhere.
Would you use the CRM for that? Tracking projects?
There's a lot of solutions out there that have the CRM and project management in one. Some are different. It's really about the price point and what you really need for your business. Google Apps is a really great way to get your business email, as well as be able to share documents with your team. And you can go down the road from there.
So what is your biggest piece of advice for someone just starting out?
I would say definitely find your trusted advisors now. The sooner you find your accountant to make sure that everything financially is going well, a business coach, a mentor, an aunt and uncle, somebody with business advice. They're out there. To reach out to your network and ask what you need help with. If you're lost with how to set up an LLC and you don't really know how to get started, go on Facebook and ask for help. Get advice from other people. You never know who's out there who may be willing to help you for free, or you may find that next person in your team that can be an advisor and really setting you up for success. I really fully believe that the investment you put into your mentors or your paid advisors, you get back in time and energy.
Okay, great. Well, then how would someone get a hold of you and maybe work with you if they're interested?
The best way to get in touch with us is at our website, iLifestyle.com. And from there you can get access to all our social networks and contact page and contact information.
Perfect. And what would be your ideal client to reach out to you?
Anybody in the retail or service industries, service being anybody from a hairstylist, landscapers, coaches and consultants, anybody who manages people interfacing as a product.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Isn't he great? So thank you for watching, and I appreciate all your comments and your sharing of this video, and I will see you next time.